Work is no longer just a place we go. For millennials and Gen Z, it's a space where identity, meaning, and personal well being collide. As organizations evolve, so do the attitudes and expectations of the people who feel them. In today's workplace, two generations stand side by side, millennials and Gen Z. They share offices, deadlines, and dreams. Yet their relationship with work couldn't be more different. But how satisfied are today's young professionals? What truly motivates them? And why do two generations born only a decade apart see work so differently? To understand this shift, we turn to organizational behavior, a field that studies how employees think, feel, and behave at work. At the heart of it lies one of the most powerful concepts, job satisfaction. It shapes performance, commitment, creativity, even mental health. Yet, satisfaction doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. Gen Z, raised in a hyper-connected world, seeks flexibility, purpose, and psychological safety. Late millennials, shaped by recession, hustle culture, and early corporate life, often prioritize growth and recognition.
My question to you is, many organizations run on like morale or short engagement pulse surveys, which is conducted like everywhere. So rather than long annual questionnaires. So how well do you think these quick surveys work in capturing how satisfied Gen Zs or millennial employees are?
In comparison to the long surveys, the short and quick ones are, I feel, more effective due to one, that there is no situational bias involved. In a long survey that you get probably once in a year, that might be your bad day when you're filling that survey, and you don't have any other relational one to compare, right? So with the shorter surveys, like for example, I have seen in my organizations previously where we used to get one question daily. So you fill it over the, or it is not daily, it's randomly one question in a day. It could be daily, it could be after 2-3 days, whatever. But yeah, it's just one question, a small one click. You just have to give it a thought for, let's say, 30 seconds, and it's done, right? And there, the situational and the time bias is reduced. And also, I think it is more, it takes less time, so people fill it like more effectively, and it's like a real time feedback also. Right? You don't have to wait and think around and then fill up a survey. So I feel like, yeah, those are like, those pulse checks are really important.
Research shows that salary matters, but only up to a certain point. After that, it's work-life balance or the growth which actually matters. So, have you seen a difference in how Gen Z or how millennials balance the financial reward which they are receiving while fulfilling their work?
So I'd like to add another pointer to this, which is more on the current stage of your life that a person is at. Okay. So if you talk about today, a millennial is probably married, has two kids, right? But a Gen Z today is fresh out of college, right? Go back 10 years, millennial was fresh out of college, right? Gen Z was probably in school, right? So at that period, he valued money more. A millennial 10 years ago valued money more. Today he has family. He's valuing work-life balance more. 10 years in future, the Gen Z of today will also value work-life balance more because he will have a family, kids, and all. So more than being Gen Z versus millennial, it is more about the context and the environment that they are in currently.
Obviously, money matters, be it millennials, be it Gen Z. Money matters to everyone. Of course, money is one of the major factor which gives motivation for growth to any employee. It doesn't matter whether you're a Gen Z or whether you're a millennial. But yes, I agree till a certain point it matters. Why? I will tell you. When you don't get appreciated, when you have a toxic work culture, when your work culture get toxic, when you are not appreciated much, when nobody's there to boost your morale, or your work hours are maybe more than 12 hours. Obviously, when you are into business, you have to work like more than 10, 11 hours. But doing that every day, it's very tiring, right? Because when you work, you need your personal life and professional life to be balanced, right? So any employee before, like, there are a lot of companies like EY, Amazon, their work culture is not good. That is what I have heard in the news. So many employees, if you just see, they are reluctant to apply in those companies, even if they're paying well. But then there are Gen Zs nowadays, they believe in comfort and smart work. Any company which gives them both, they will be highly motivated to join that company because they know that they are tech savvy. Those are street smart people, so they can get the job anywhere they want. So any corporate who is not giving the proper work life balance, nobody will join that.
So sometimes dissatisfaction shows up as subtle behaviors rather than open complaints, like doing the minimum dealing tasks or disengaging emotionally. Do you see different types of subtle counterproductive behaviors emerging between these two generations? And if so, what tends to trigger them?
Anywhere, open communication is must. Okay, be it millennials, be it Gen Zs, be it a team lead, be it subordinate, open communication is must. If you do not have an open communication in your work life, these things will come up. First thing. And people tend to do it in what scenarios? When they take credit for some other work, for someone else's work. That time these kind of situations happens. But I would say it's a part of corporate life. You cannot just go and complain it. You should be smart enough to showcase your hard work. Complaining is not a good quality to have in an organization, and any organization will not promote it. Secondly, if you want to showcase your hard work, you can always see what is hard work. There are two types of hard work. One, you are doing some manual work and research, and somebody else is taking your maybe taking your credit, but you're not adding anything to your organization. You're just doing a part of job for which you are getting earned. Okay. But there is another kind of effort which you have identified a new strategy to get this work. For example, there was a work which was supposed to be completed in a year, but because of your innovation and your findings, you were able to get it done in 6 months. So this, if you can showcase these kind of things, nobody will stop you to showcase your efforts, right? So you should know what efforts needs to be shown, what efforts needs not to be shown. So I think Gen Zs and millennials both need to understand this.
There is a long-standing debate, which is, do satisfied employees perform well because they are happy, or do employees become satisfied because they perform well and feel recognized? Thinking about a mixed age team, how would you prioritize when trying to improve both performance and long-term satisfaction? Would you design the sequence differently for Gen Z compared to millennials?
I would call it a cycle, that if you are satisfied, you will perform well. If you are performing well, you will get satisfied. So it is cyclic. It's not this or this. It's both together. I can talk of, I think for millennials, it's like when they perform well and when they are recognized, they get satisfied. We can consider that as a trigger for millennials. For
satisfaction triggers performance, I would say it is applicable to Gen Z. And the another part, performance triggers your recognition triggers performance, that is applicable to millennials. Okay, because millennials their upbringing, their surroundings has been like that. They have to struggle all the time. They did not have enough resources as much as Gen Zs had. Okay, so Gen Zs have this comfort zone. They are smart enough to make any work culture comfortable, to be honest. You go enter in any MBA college, you go enter in any corporate, you will make sure that your surroundings are very comfortable, right? Gen Zs are very smart, but for millennials, it is like they just know how to work hard. Okay, so answering to your question, answering to your debate is like performance. Appreciation promotes performance is for Gen Zs and vice versa is for millennials.
We often talk about generational differences, but personality, like introversion, openness, conscientiousness, can sometimes play a bigger role than age. Have you seen situations where a Gen Z employee and a millennial behaved very differently, not because of generational values, but because of personality traits?
Oh, of course, yes. That is seen
Can you
almost everywhere.
elaborate on the situation if you faced anything?
Yeah, sure. If somebody who is an introvert, and even if they have high intellect, they're unable to showcase their work, right? Which again correlates to your performance review as well. Because if you're unable to showcase your work, how will your lead will be able to review your performance, right? So you should believe in open communication. You should be an extrovert, I would say. And I'm being an extreme extrovert. Things have always worked in my favor. And to be honest, in company organization also promotes this. Everyone should open up about their work. If you have in today's generation, if anyone has any complaint regarding the team lead also, the subordinates can go and reach out to their manager and complain about their lead. There are so many like posh and all, everything is there. It has been kept so that people they to promote people that they can be vocal. If you're just an introvert in an organization, nobody will come and help you, that you speak up for yourself. Millennial was a manager and the Gen Z was an analyst, a junior analyst. So the millennial was giving work without any clarity. Okay, and the Gen Z was frustrated because that person was not getting enough input to do that work. And also it led to so much pressure that person's health got affected badly. Later on, we found out that that person, an analyst, was actually suffering through serious trauma. And then this was escalated to HR, and then some actions were taken on that millennial. I'll tell you, there's a Deloitte in my company. Every 2 months, we raise a survey to our supervisors to put our feedback on them. It's not like a one-way feedback. It's like a two-way feedback. Like your manager is giving feedback about yourself. I'm being a consultant in AI. As an AI consultant, I give feedback to my senior consultant, and my senior consultant gives feedback to me. Okay, so it's like a two-way feedback. So this Deloitte is taking it very seriously.
So what we have learned, attitudes and job satisfaction are not static concepts. They're shaped by culture, economics, technology, and personal identity. Millennials and Gen Z may differ in what they both value, but generations share a universal human desire to be seen, supported, and meaningful in their work. Employers who recognize these differences can build workplaces that are not only productive but compassionate. Workplaces where Gen Z feel purpose and psychological safety, where millennials find stability, growth, and fulfillment, and where both generations contribute through organizational citizenship behaviors, stepping beyond their roles to create something bigger than themselves. The future of work will belong not to one organization but to the organizations that understand all of them, because job satisfaction is more than a metric. It's a mirror of how we treat people, and in what reflection lies the potential to create happier employees, stronger teams, and more humane workplaces.